The Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania, the longest river in the eastern United States, has a long history of reports suggesting that a large mammalian monster inhabits its rocky depths. Today on American Strangeness, the Susquehanna seal. Columbia, Pennsylvania, about 15 miles downstream from Bainbridge in Lancaster County, was excited in April 1878 over the appearance of an animal variously described as a sea lion, an otter, or a seal. It was spotted standing on its rear legs in the river near the Wrightsville shore. The animal was at least 7 feet in length with a head like a dog. It had a thin neck about a foot long and a body with a 1-foot diameter around its thickest section. The creature possessed small eyes and had something like a fan with claws or fins on each side of its head, according to the Lancaster Intelligencer. Then, on May 27, 1885, the Lancaster New Era newspaper published this story about a strange aquatic animal seen at Bainbridge. A monster of the waters, a curious fish or animal that is exciting the residents of Bainbridge. The fishermen and the people in general at Bainbridge are greatly agitated over the presence of a strange fish or animal that has made its appearance in the river at that place. It was first seen on Saturday afternoon about midway between the shore and the island, plunging and diving about, and has since been noticed on frequent occasions acting in the same strange manner. From an eyewitness who had a close view of it on Sunday afternoon, at which time it came to the surface of the water, just opposite the landing, it is described as being of a deep black color, very much resembling in appearance a big black dog. It was thought to be about 4 feet in length, and when it appeared, it swam for a short distance, then, lashing the water to a foam, immediately disappeared. It was seen again on Monday, near the point of the island, opposite Bainbridge, where it continued the same maneuvers for several minutes, after which it finally disappeared from view. The fishermen are at a loss to account for its presence, they never having seen anything of the kind in all their experience. They give as their opinion, from the description given of it, that it is an otter, and in all probability the same one that was reported as having been seen in the Conewago Falls last winter. The canal boatmen, who have had an extended experience on the bays and other waters, give a quite different opinion as to its name or origin, and claim it to be a fish or water animal, which frequents the bay and is commonly known as a sea dog. Its presence has had the effect of creating an unusual interest in its behalf, and at all hours during the day, and more especially in the evening, there can be seen numbers of town people standing on the river bank, who out of curiosity wait and watch for hours, anxious for a glimpse at the monster. It has not only been the cause of arousing the interest above mentioned, but has as well had a disastrous effect on one of the small boys' most enjoyable pleasures, which is that of bathing in the river. The reports current in regard to the animal, whatever it is, are greatly exaggerated, and have caused the boys to give the river a wide berth. Clinton County, Pennsylvania historian Lou Bernard has written about a Susquehanna River monster of this era that he has affectionately dubbed the Susquehanna seal. As related by the Lock Haven Daily Democrat in 1897, there were generations of stories, dating back to indigenous inhabitants, about a strange water beast contained to the west branch of the Susquehanna River, immediately above the mouth of Kettle Creek on the northern end of Clinton County. As the legend goes, this marine animal or sea monster entered the Susquehanna River via its mouth in Chesapeake Bay at Havre de Grace, Maryland, during the early decades of the 18th century, before the construction of any dams along the river. The beast became trapped inland, but was so awash in delectable shad and other fish that it continued to wax in size until he equaled the bulk of an ox or hippopotamus. The animal grew so large as the seasons passed that no ordinary flood provided sufficient water to carry it over the shoals. So it continued to inhabit the river depths along the big black rocks at the bottom of the Susquehanna. Witnesses who encountered the creature claimed it had a terrible roar and disturbed the waters greatly, lashing them to foam. Per the Daily Democrat, He was not the form or image of anything on earth. Some claimed by his roar that he was a sea lion, some that he was a monster cuttlefish, and again, some thought he might possibly be an only survivor of some thought to be extinct order of sea or river monster, a labyrinthodon, an ichthyosaurus, a rhamphorhynchus, an aquatic pterosaur, or a hadrosaurus. Others claimed he was a species of whale or shark, but the majority of people believed him to be a sea lion, as his actions resembled that animal more than any other they had ever heard or seen. Locals began referring to the animal as a dugong, not so much after the actual herbivorous marine mammal, but the dangerous behemoth described by Jules Verne in his books The Mysterious Island and 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas. The Susquehanna dugong was said to be a voracious consumer of both water and land animals, man included. Children were warned to look out for the monster when swimming in the river. Some thought the dugong departed during the big river flood of 1889, the water finally rising enough to carry it back to the Atlantic Ocean. Others thought it remained, possibly having discovered subterranean passages that allowed it to come and go as it pleased. Actual dugongs are confined to coastal waters in the Pacific and Indian Oceans, but interestingly, they can live up to 70 years, fitting the Susquehanna monster's longevity. The Susquehanna River is one of the world's most ancient rivers, at about 200 million years old. It meanders for 444 miles from its origin point at Otsego Lake near Cooperstown, New York, emptying into Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic Ocean at Havre de Grace, Maryland. It is the largest commercially non-navigable river in North America, exceptionally shallow with an average depth of 15 to 20 feet at its mouth and only a few feet upstream. Its abundance of jutting bedrock and waterfalls also restrain its commercial viability. Until the introduction of hydroelectric dams in the early 1900s, the lower Susquehanna enjoyed an onrush of migratory fish in the spring, with locals easily catching shad by the hundreds. Ken Maurer, licensed fishing guide along the confluence of the Susquehanna River's north and west branches in Northumberland County, had several encounters with a mystery animal for a couple of years around 2001. In his regular outdoor column in the Sunbury, Pennsylvania Daily Item, Maurer wrote that the creature appeared to be at least 5 or 6 feet long, larger than any carp he'd ever seen. It pushed a wake that caused waves to lap on the shoreline, and always sunk out of sight before it got close enough to be observed clearly. A friend of Maurer's who witnessed the creature described the thing swimming in the river like a small submarine about to surface. Another witness suggested it might be a mammal like a seal or otter, but Maurer disagreed because the animal never surfaced to breathe. Adam Zern, writing about the Susquehanna River's strange aquatic menagerie on uncharted Lancaster, asked, "Has the Kettle Creek monster moved downriver?" These accounts, disconnected and appearing over the course of centuries, suggest the intriguing if improbable possibility of a mysterious aquatic animal hiding in the murky depths of the longest river on the east coast of the United States. Stay strange.